Good afternoon, Soul Embodiment Tribe. Bridget Patton here. I am out for a drive, giving myself some space to process and just expose myself to whatever energy and flow the universe is bringing in. And this is oftentimes when I get some of my grandest downloads. And I wanted to share with you guys some of the messages that were coming in just in regards to my own journey. And what was kind of going through my mind was how often people have told me how strong they think I am. And of course, now at this level of consciousness and awareness and the people I've surrounded myself with, I understand that strength is very different than what we think it is. So years ago, when I was in management and I was in corporate, I was usually the person that ended up doing the write-ups and, talking to people and doing the difficult conversations. And the reason why I was able to do that was because I was actually bypassing my emotions. And I didn't know or realize that that's what was going on, just as many of us are in the same boat. Really clearly until recently when I was reading my Gene Keys and the lines. So if you aren't familiar with the Gene Keys or the lines, I talk about it a lot. I'll pop some links later when I get home in the comments, or if somebody else wants to. That would be great. But anyway, so the Gene Keys led me to realize something about my intellect and how I was bypassing an emotion. When it would come in, I was using my mind to override what was coming in, and I would stuff it down, I would suppress it. And a lot of the time I used that to remain aloof and actually, not really involved in my relationships. I wasn't emotionally attached or detached. I was just not involved at all in my relationships. I was participating from a distance. And now, of course, it's beneficial when I'm working with clients and coaching and whatnot. But honestly, it doesn't really provide fulfillment or richness in your life when you aren't allowing for all of the emotions to come up and communicate to you what it is that your needs are in order to dance that dance that happens in a relationship. Every single relationship that we have has a masculine and feminine, part to it. Each and every single one of us. I'm not talking about two different people. I'm talking about within us. And so sometimes we will dance the masculine and sometimes we'll dance the feminine. And when we get out of balance, like, for example, for me, the easiest way for me to understand the masculine is that's the energy I use when I'm setting boundaries. That's the energy that I use when I have my fire burning inside of me. The feminine is more fluid. It's the water inside of me. It's what comes emotionally through me. And if I'm not using one or the other, I'm going to get out of balance. And what I've found is real strength happens when I'm embodying all of my emotions and allowing for them to come up and give me space in between the emotion coming up and me being able to understand what it's communicating. Because yes, emotions don't lie, but what we think the emotion means is very different than what it actually is communicating, especially right now. There is a tremendous shift happening within humanity, and you're going to hear me keep talking about it because it's getting more intense. There's more pressure, but it doesn't have to be perceived in a way that feels like we're out of control. We don't have to perceive it in a way that there's something wrong with us. We don't have to think that because we're feeling and experiencing all of this, that you're in the wrong direction or you're not connected to source. It doesn't mean that you aren't strong. Being able to interpret these emotions and look at them and face them head on and lean into them is crucial for our development in our expansion. So when we surround ourselves with people who, we spend a lot of time with, and maybe they are or aren't doing the work, that can really mess with you. It can really affect you and impact you because there's that power of being witnessed. And when someone's witnessing you, you do have energy influences from other people. And so it doesn't mean necessarily that we aren't supposed to be around those people. It just means there's work to be done. It means that when you feel agitated and, there's some sort of energy coming up inside of you, that there's work to be done there. And this is an invitation for you guys to consider that strength is being able to reprogram your understanding of those emotions and move forward knowing that you need to stop. I have the stop sign in the back. Sometimes you have to stop and pause and reflect and give yourself that space. And it's hard because we're very goal and success oriented in this world. And so to give yourself the proper space to understand what the universe is communicating, and we can call it the universe or we can call it our bodies, our heart, because it's going to come up inside of us in some way. You're going to feel it. And if you're not giving yourself space to process those emotions and understand what's coming in, you're working singularly through and linearly through logic and intellect. And that actually suffocates and smothers our soul. So that's when that panic comes up inside of you. That's when it feels like you're breaking apart inside, because it isn't meant to be that way. We aren't meant to only function from our brains. And we've put so much value on the mind and the intellect that we've forgotten how intelligent the gut and the heart is. It isn't about my spelling and how well I can articulate a sentence. Of course, it's beneficial when you're communicating, but words have really diminished our energy and our soul capacity, because words can be manipulated and they can be twisted. But energy doesn't lie. What's coming through and the tone and the frequency and the vibration it's penetrating to our soul. It's penetrating to our energy field, and we feel it in our body, and we store it inside of us so that our subconscious mind can attract experiences and situations for us to interpret it differently so that we can grow, so we can understand what is actually being communicated. And those situations will come up over and over again until we understand what's really being said. And if there's something coming up multiple times, that means there's an opportunity to look differently at this. Doesn't mean you're doing something wrong or anything like that. It just means there's more wisdom to be gained here. There's something to be learned. So what we're doing in the leadership right now, I have taken the next 3 months off, whatever that means. Spirit, universe is guiding this. And I'm inviting anyone who's watching, anyone who is participating in this journey to consider including themselves in this next year-long immersion that we're doing. And the reason why is because when you have people who have been, these guys have been with me for the last year and a half. This is what we've been doing head on, working these relationship emotions and energy. And now we're inviting the next level of people to come in with us and participate in this with us. So if any of this message is resonating, or you're just curious about what we're doing in there, please reach out. I would love to connect you with one of the guides, or even with myself if that's what you're feeling. Other than that, I hope that you guys have an amazing day, and I love you. Mwah. I will see you in the next video.